We're live. Well, we're going live. We're almost live. We're live here, and now we're live here. What up? How's everybody doing? Come on in and say hi. Come on in and say hi. How's it going, everybody? Let's see. We are set. We're live everywhere. And I just want to start because it's going to help me get my jitters out a little bit. You can't really see it from this angle, but my house is a disaster. We're moving on Friday. It's crazy because there's still so much work to do, and then there's, moving. But I guess anybody can relate to that if you've moved, can't you? That's just how it goes. So I have no great system of having a beautiful background yet, but hopefully that will change very, very soon. And I'm really excited to be here because we are going to be talking about how to separate emotions from eating. I think this is a very, very powerful lesson, especially with the holiday season, y'all. Halloween is tomorrow. And if you're like most Americans, you've had Halloween candy in your house since October 1st, or at work, in break rooms, on people's desk, all sorts of drama. And it literally kicks off a season of just going blank and going mindless and blaming it on emotions and blaming it on the party and blaming it on all the things that we blame it on. And that so doesn't have to be that way. You actually can fully enjoy all the foods that you want to eat, everything that you want to do during the holiday season, including the party and including the booze, including the food. But it depends on how you do it. And what we're going to talk about today specifically is separating emotions from your eating. If you are new to my world, welcome. I'm Audra. I am the creator of Love It to Lose It Tribe, Love It to Lose It methodology. And this is what we do inside of Love It to Lose It. We build up the parts of you that are going to get you to where you want to go, but we also heal, love, process, and integrate the parts that hold you back, right? So the parts that hold you back are usually old patterns. Sometimes they could just be old neuronal patterns, like old habits that you have to learn how to break. Sometimes that's hard. I get it. Other times it can be like actually embedded trauma, and trauma can be a big T trauma. It can also be a little t trauma. Which basically means that, in every live I do, I always want to normalize trauma. I always say we don't escape childhood without some form of trauma. It just isn't how it happens. And to normalize it by understanding why we all hold it. Because a lot of us think trauma, we think, oh my God, it's only because the guy coming back from war that has PTSD, or the girl that got raped, that's trauma. And I don't have trauma. And so we try to compare our trauma to other people's trauma. And one, that's bullshit, and you shouldn't do that. It's not going to be helpful for you or the other person. But to understand that trauma is a situation that happened at some point in your life, childhood or in adulthood, that overwhelmed your nervous system. And the bigger trauma is a violation, like a physical boundary violation of your body. So it doesn't have to be a physical violation of your body, but those are usually the ones that are really intense. And just to be really clear, anytime, and even a situation that you could handle if you were healthy, if you had a lot of sleep, if you were feeling good, if you were on your game, if you had a lot of love and support around you, could also show up as trauma because it overwhelms the nervous system in times and situations where you're not good, where you're not getting sleep, where you're really stressed out, where you're when you don't feel love and support around you, like who you have and the people in your own personal tribe, right? So it's real. And the cool thing about trauma is that we can work through it and move it. And the way that we do it is through the body. That's like the access point to actually be able to do this, to get like through the body. It's very powerful. So that's what we do. We build up the parts of us that are going to help us lose the weight, stop emotional eating, get the life back that we want, live in a body that we love, and we also have to heal, love, and process and integrate, and we really have to do both. My world is that I owned a fitness company a long time ago. It wasn't even that long ago, but I feel like I've been in the fitness and nutrition industry since I was 18. I started teaching fitness classes. I've got a degree in kines. I studied nutrition in college and post-college. I went to another college to study holistic nutrition, to become a holistic nutrition educator. Like, my world was owning a fitness company, had 5 locations, all of those things. And the reason why it was so challenging for me is that I recognized that people would buckle down and they would do the things, take the actions to lose the weight, to go on the diet, to join my fitness program, to like all of a sudden there's motivation and focus and damn it, I'm going to do it. So they're practicing building up the identities, right? And then the next thing I knew they would fall off the planet and I wouldn't see them for months or years, and then they would gain the weight back plus all of it. And that is an indicative sign that there's deeper work. That means we have to have both. It's not just about building up your identity. It's also about healing, processing, loving, integrating the shadowy parts that hold us back, the self-sabotaging behaviors and parts that hold us back. How do we know we have these parts? Really simple. Are you stuck? Do you feel stuck in any aspect of your life? Have you been stuck there for a long time? Has it been a year, 5 years, a decade, a lifetime, where like a certain thing and it just keeps showing up over and over again in your life and you can't seem to solve it? So in the world I live in with my tribe, with my Love It to Lose It tribe, it's that like, my God, I want to lose weight and keep it off. I want to transform into a person that can live in a right-sized body, right? How can I live in a right-sized body and like live it so it doesn't feel like I'm having to struggle or diet, where it just becomes who I am? And the only way to do that is to, yes, build up the identity and the parts of you that need to be built up, that are the identities and the habits and the behaviors that will get you there, because it takes action. But you're not going to get there unless we really heal the other parts, like because those are the things that keep you stuck. The nervous system that doesn't feel safe to release the weight, right? So we have to go into the nervous system, and the way we do that is through the body. So much research coming out on trauma and the neuro research in our neuro system, our neurological system, and how we literally hold the old experiences in the tissues of our body, and that's how we get rid of it. We don't get rid of it by talking about it. Talking about it actually can like instigate it again, and then make it come all up again. And unless you have access points to move it through the body, this is what I do for a living. I'm a somatically trained breathwork facilitator, and this is the work I do with my clients and in workshops and in groups and all that other good stuff, right? To help you come into a body that you love and a life that you love, right? So let's get into this. I feel like I've been waiting long enough. Let's get into this. How do you separate emotions from eating? And this is big. So I've been talking to clients and it's big, right? So one of my clients is having big stuff go on with her boyfriend. They're still together, but it's like there's a lot of drama going on in his life. And so of course she loves him. And so it's a lot. It's like big, overwhelming stuff. It has to do with the law. There's like lawyers involved. It's the kind of stuff that shakes you right to your core. And she's finding that she's like, oh my God, I'm like stress eating. Another client is struggling because of like family. All of a sudden, like family comes to visit, and now all of a sudden, all of these old patterns and these feelings and sensations when like mom says a certain thing or dad does a certain thing, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm finding myself like over and just stress eating and doing it. And what we're talking about are emotional patterns. We're talking about things that you feel and things that happen inside of you, emotions, right? And it's not just the emotions, it's the situations, right? The situation of the boyfriend is dealing with a big legal thing. That's the situation, all right? Parents come to visit for a long weekend and to stay in your house, and that's the situation, right? The situation creates the triggered response. The situation creates the emotions. And then what we do is we say that this situation and this emotion is causing me to stress eat. And what I want to say is that's the biggest mess up on the planet. What I want to promise you is that if that's where you're at, if this is where you're thinking and where you're believing, you will stay stuck for frickin' ever. Because what you're doing is you're saying, I can't change my behavior with food until that behavior or that emotion or that situation over there changes. That's what you're saying. And that's basically a sentence to stay totally fucking stuck, okay? So the very first step here is to come into a deep awareness of, you know what? This situation is happening and I am stressed out, and my stress, I keep choosing to eat because I handle stress by eating, right? I am choosing to overeat. I'm choosing to go numb. I'm choosing this because it's what I'm used to choosing. It's what I always choose. And I need to learn how to feel whatever I feel and not choose this. It is a separation of the experience itself. Does that make sense? That is like literally the first step. I had a client a while back. She was a challenge member, Love It to Lose It challenge member. And I remember every single post she put up in our private group was, my daughter is mentally ill. My daughter causes all this drama in my family. My daughter is like, she's basically sharing in detail the stories of like when her daughter has like a big like explosion of emotions and just like loses her shit, where like they've had to call the cops because the parents didn't feel safe. Like it was like big stuff. And I need you to hear me. I'm not saying that the big stuff isn't a problem. I'm saying that people go through big stuff, really big stuff every day. And either they're choosing to say this big stuff is causing me to eat food, right? Or a lot of people go every single day through really big stuff and they don't gain weight and they don't use food as a coping mechanism, or alcohol as a coping mechanism, right? You really can separate the two. Like you super can separate the two. And just to give you like a simple example, like separating the two is, well, it's Halloween and there's going to be candy everywhere, and there already is. So, and then I can't seem to stop myself from just like mindlessly grabbing shit. I'm like, yes, you can. And if you think that the candy being there is a problem, it's not the problem. Absolute separation. And so the other part that I think is really important, I have my notes here because I was taking some really good notes for y'all today. Super excited about this. So, I know what I said. You're giving your power to the situation. You're giving your power to the other person. You're blatantly using it as an excuse. This isn't like about me being, I'm not being mean here. I'm saying like honesty and truth. This is what it is. This becomes an excuse, right? And so only when we have the capacity to make decisions for ourselves around the food, when we say, I'm going to own this, I'm going to own that I don't want to be this way. I want to own that every single time I feel an experience or an emotion, that I don't actually want to go to food for that, right? And that's the moment when you have the possibility to make another choice. But you can't do it. You're not going to make another choice unless you get to that point. And here's why. This is really important. How long have you been doing that for? This isn't about beating yourself up or judging yourself or doing any of that shit. Like, for real, how long have you been doing that shit for? Let me say hi to some people here. Lindsay's here. Yay. Oh, man. I can't see. Let me say hi to Lindsay. Let me say hi to Brian. Oh, look at all my friends here. Jenny Tool in the house. Hey, y'all. Good to see you here. I can't see the bottom of the screen over here because I'm like trying to do both at the same time. But let me just help you here, okay? Men and women, gentlemen, like get your women in my tribe. Like if they're struggling with body and they really want to like come into better relationship, like this is like how to do it, okay? But this isn't about judging yourself. This is another thing. You're used to doing it. You've been doing it for a long time. You have a feeling inside of your body. It's anxiety, it's stress, it's depression, it's sadness. It could be crazy hyper excitement. This was me. It didn't matter the range of emotion, y'all. It didn't matter the range of emotion. If it was a high, if it got too high, like I was just like on top of the world, oh my God, how can this amazing thing be happening to me? Eat, right? Or if it's really low vibration emotions. My point is that you only have a capacity to feel at certain levels. And as soon as it gets too high or it gets too low, stress eating, anxiety eating, emotional eating, mindless eating, that means you just go blank because you don't want to feel the emotion, you try to numb it out. These are normal patterns. You've been doing them for a long time. And so let's, instead of take like a judgment standpoint, let's just take a neurological standpoint. The more you've been doing that for however many years and decades or a life that you have been doing it, you have been building up those neuronal patterns inside of you. It's just like building a habit. It becomes unconscious, right? So I'm not saying that this is easy because these are unconscious patterns, right? But the first step is to stop using the other things as an excuse. The first step is to step into your power and say, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to learn a different way. I'm going to check myself as every time food comes up to my mouth, I'm going to become conscious and aware, and I'm going to look at the food and I'm going to go, am I physically hungry? Does my body physically need food in this moment? And if it doesn't, if it's emotional hunger or head hunger, or you're just And you're just like eating for a million other reasons, like because you walked by somebody's desk, or because you walked into the kitchen, or because you drove by a Starbucks, or you drove by a drive-through something to get whatever your favorite fast food is. Like whatever the trigger is that makes you think that you're going to eat, you have to stop it in that moment. And the reason why this is hard, the reason it takes time, the reason it's not like you go from a 1 of being completely unconscious all the way up to a perfection 10, a perfect 10, because you have to build the other neuronal patterns. You already have the ones that have been running in the background for so long. It's not easy to start the process and learn the new ones, but you totally can do it. And when I say it's not easy, it's totally possible. And it's not like climbing Mount Everest hard, y'all. It's not like that, okay? But it is something that you have to start becoming mindful of. And this is very, very important that you hear me, because when you start to do it, when you start to put the food up to your mouth and you go, oh, I'm not going to eat it because I'm not actually physically hungry, like you'll have a moment, right? And then it sometimes isn't easy because you're learning how to feel feelings. There's other stuff in there. But every single time you catch yourself, you've made the decision, and you catch yourself mindlessly eating, you can immediately catch yourself in that moment, right? You can immediately go, oh, man, here it is. I'm going to put it down. That doesn't mean you have to judge yourself, though. This is the second point I want to make. Judgment and shame will mess up this whole situation, okay? Whenever you go in your head and go, oh, I did it again. When am I going to figure this out? What's my problem? Then what that generally leads to is a mentality, oh yeah, and then you just eat everything in sight, right? You never are going to get to where you want to go, okay? This is about bringing consciousness in with kindness and respect. So what we do is we put the food up and we go, oh, what am I doing? The judgment, the shame, and even more than that, the overthinking of it. The oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Why did I do that? I know it must be some trauma from my childhood. Audrey talks about trauma and this is probably what it is. And what am I, like you over dramatize it, you overthink it, all the things you do. What I want you to do is put it into your mouth and go, oh God, shit, like mindless. Okay, I'm gonna put it down, deep breath. All I'm gonna do is notice it. It's called noticing the situation, y'all. It's called literally going, God damn it, like I did it. All right, put it down. I'm just gonna notice what's happening. I'm gonna notice what happened all the way up that led to me putting it in my mouth. I wanna notice what I feel in my body. I'm gonna notice what emotions, what's like going on like inside of me. That is power, okay? Because now you're not making such a big deal about it. Remember, it takes time to build the new neural systems. And when you can just sit back and notice it, now you have real legitimate feedback without the bullshit, without the story, without the judgment, without the shame, with all the beating of ourselves down. I mean, so many of us, we talk to ourselves worse than we would ever talk to our worst enemy, right? And this is what keeps us stuck. So in that moment, we're gonna learn how to let it go, how to just take a deep breath and notice it. Just notice the behavior. We don't have to judge it and shame it. We just have to notice it. And then inside of my tribe, we write shit down. So part of what I do is the sexy 7. Move, nourish, hydrate, meditate, sleep, connect, reflect. Those are our main 7 that we're practicing. And one of those, let me try that again. Move, nourish, hydrate, meditate, sleep, connect, reflect. Every day we go in and we reflect. We go like, what happened? And what that does is it helps us stay honest, right? It helps us go, man, I did that. That's all right. How do I feel? Well, I'm going to like knock it out of the park next time. And each time you do it, like where you catch yourself, each time that you build the neuronal pattern of doing the thing that you want to do, y'all, it's not woo-woo. This is how our nervous system works. Eventually, you build up the neuronal patterning of the habits that you're looking to create. And then the next thing you have is you have neuronal patterns of what you used to do go mindless. And now you have stronger neuronal patterns of the things you've been doing, of making the new choices. And it's hard, you've been working hard to do that, but now what you have is actual choice. Now what you have, instead of going mindless, you're like, oh, okay, I could choose this, or I could choose this. And what happens is that the more you choose the thing that's in alignment with truth, that's in alignment with what is real about what you deeply desire, right? This is, you could even say in alignment with love. This is powerful. This is how we build strong neuronal patterning in our bodies and in our life, okay? But I want to take it all the way back I want to take it all the way back. It starts with stopping with the fucking bullshit excuses. Pardon my French, but the excuses feel real, don't they? They feel real. Inside of us, we're like, no, you don't get it. My daughter is losing her shit and it's ruining everything. She's making our whole entire family dynamic. It's really struggling. Now we're dealing with psychiatrists and mental illness, whatever that might be. Or you don't understand. My parents came to visit this weekend and it was crazy and I just would lose myself in the food. You don't understand, Audra. Whatever the thing might be. My boyfriend is dealing with the law right now. It's so big and we live together now and oh my God. Some people on this planet go through all those things and they don't use food to cope with the thing. The first thing you have to do is separate your eating from coping with the thing, okay? You have to be able to say, this thing is separate than what I am trying to create for my body and my life, okay? This shit can happen and I'm only gonna eat when I'm physically hungry, okay? Anyhow, yeah. There it is. I cannot think of a better pre-holiday season about to hit. We, inside of our lifestyle tribe, we're about to go into this really detailed and one step at a time and one situation at a time. Because if there's one thing that the holiday season has, is a lot of fucking crazy. Crazy. And whether you love it or don't love it, the holiday season, whether you celebrate it or don't celebrate it, it comes with a lot of memories and emotions. And all of those come with whatever trauma or triggers or other shit that's sitting in the tissues of your body, it just lets it come up. And if your go-to is I'm gonna put food in my mouth, it's not gonna be easy, okay? So this one is one of the most powerful tactics you could ever do, and you should start today. If you have Halloween candy in your house, put a lock on it or throw it the fuck away, right? Go out tomorrow and buy some just for the trick-or-treaters and then throw the rest away when it's done. And whenever you throw it away, pour I don't even know, pour something awful in your garbage so that way you won't be tempted to go in the garbage and get it. I know, I used to do this a lot and I don't do it anymore, thank God, but it took me a long time to get there. It's not like I go from here to perfection. No, I would say I hover between an 8 and a 10. So I still I do crazy things with food sometimes, but the difference is when you really got it, you're able to move out of it faster. You're able to move out of it faster, okay? All right, so I hope this was helpful. Very powerful session, and stop with the excuses. This is a loving reminder to stop with the excuses. Learn how to separate reality from what's happening. Now, inside of the tribe and what I do with my clients, one of the things I do is we do actual practices to expand our capacity to feel our feelings. That's called emotional intelligence. And it's really important that we expand that capacity because those traumas and those triggers, those things that make us need to go eat, they feel overwhelming and they make us go mindless. But the more that we can expand our capacity to feel high emotions and low emotions and be with them and just witness them and notice them, just notice, right? We're just, the emotions are the experience, but we're back here looking at it, right? We're looking as we're going, look at this experience. Isn't this it? I'm just going to notice this. Okay, this feels painful. This feels awkward. This feels shitty. Normally I'd go reach for this. What else can I do? Powerful, y'all. It is the ticket. It's a ticket. All right, beautiful. Thank you guys so much for showing up. So glad you're here. Mwah. See you next time. Let's see if that worked. No, I'm still alive. Let's see what else works. Let's try that again. Let's try to hit the button and let's see if we can make Leanne Burr is working. This makes me happy. Michelle's here. Forrest is here. Jeff Newman. Jeff Newman just Facebook friended me. And I was like, fuck, why do I know this dude, Jeff Newman? And I know Jeff Newman because he worked as a coach in my BFit bootcamp company out in Silicon Valley. I'm like, oh my God, Jeff Newman. Good to see you, buddy. Give you a big hi there. Let me wave to Michelle. Let me see. I hope this was helpful. Oh, Barbara's here too. Y'all, I hate my setup because I can't see everybody's stuff because you can see my computer's in the way right here. Oh, good. Leanne Burr just gave us a heart. Beautiful. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you loved this. Very exciting. Good stuff happening. I'll see you next time on the inside. Yay, there's Barbara giving a heart too. Love it, love it. Bye, y'all.